All right, everybody, welcome into Around the Felt. We're already on episode 41. Week 16 is here. And here with me today, I got my co-host Colin Tong to the left of me. I got Joe behind the camera. And on the other side, we got Zach and Dave. Unfortunately, Jake's Takes couldn't make it tonight. He's got a big...
Dude shows up for one fucking pod.
Yeah, shows up for one pod, and then he's got some big NFL scouting meeting or something. I guess
he's getting looked at by the Giants.
Yeah.
He's actually talking to Brian Dable as we speak. So.
Yeah.
Good luck, Jake.
Yeah, we might have to bring back HBL and make like an Invincible 2 with Jacob Batoff and let him try out for like a pro team.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good. But you know what? Let's get into the breaking news. That's enough news on Jake's Takes.
Yeah, we got some good news, man. It's crunch time in the season. To start off with, the Falcons officially benched Desmond Ridder, not for this week, for the remainder of the season, and they're going to roll with Taylor Heineke. Reagan, what do you think about this move?
I think it's probably the right move at this point. We've seen a lot of Ridder, and it hasn't been great.
He's awful.
I mean, if you lose to the Panthers, things got to change because that is a bad football team out there. Obviously, had a really bad red zone pick where they were driving in, and then all of a sudden he just launches it like a line drive right into the defender, turn it over, and then the Panthers end up winning the game. So that really was the difference maker because they were already in the red zone. So I think it's the right call.
Yeah, for my Falcons over 8.5, I love this move because what Taylor Heineke does, he comes in short spurts and he balls out.
Yeah.
And he can catch fire. I'm hoping for my over 8.5 and for my fantasy playoffs with Bijan that he catches fire in this offense.
Yeah, you need him to win out now. So
also, something I saw that was very interesting, that Desmond Ritter's preseason passing yards line was 2,600. He's at like 2,530, and he gets benched for the final 3 games. So unless there's an injury, it looks like the under is going to cash in a very funny way.
Yeah, I mean, unless Heineke comes out and completely shits the bed this week, then. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. But that Falcons team seems like it'll be another year of them missing the playoffs.
Yep, classic. Get rid of Arthur Smith, please. Aaron Rodgers was activated off IR so he can practice with the team. However, he will not play. It was said that if they were in the playoff hunt, he would have played, definitely by the playoffs. Reagan, it's what we expected.
Yeah,
as a Jets fan,
I'm fine with it.
Are you happy that he's practicing? Because I saw some people on Twitter were like, oh, wow, that's fucked up by Rodgers because a practice squad guy could have came up and gotten his paycheck, and I'm like, all right, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, some guy won't make his $500,000 because of Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's not like it's a guy losing out on, I don't know, that's a dumb reason. Like, yeah, I'd rather Rodgers there for the morale. Sorry, I don't really care about one
morale, and he's
guy.
Getting more work in.
He's getting work in. He's giving the confidence. Like, the guys that are, like, down right now, at least they have a reason to really be excited for next year.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's shoulder rehab is going way better than expected, he said. Doesn't affect him this season, but if you're a Colts fan, that's good to know because a shoulder injury for a quarterback, obviously never good news.
No.
Could linger, so the fact that he's on a good track is a positive sign for the Colts' future.
Yeah, I mean, if he is their starting quarterback next year, we don't know.
He definitely
no, he will be, but I mean, Minshew's been balling
Yeah, it's
out.
what Minshew does.
I wonder,
he's like Heineke.
I am curious. Well, I don't know, because Minshew's been doing it all season, so I do wonder if he will actually get a starting job somewhere next year.
I could totally see him going to another team. He's going to be a journeyman, like teams that need a bridge quarterback. Minshew's like probably the top guy right now.
I mean, unless they go far in the playoffs, which it does seem like they're going to be in there, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, imagine the Colts somehow go on a run and make it to like the AFC Championship game.
That would actually be absurd if they got. I don't see it happening.
I'm just saying,
it would be absurd.
What do you do then?
I mean, so if they did, Minshew won't be back in Indianapolis, but he definitely would make a look. Yo, Snapchat mid pod. Why don't you turn your ringer off, dude? Who you talking to? Who are you talking to?
Joseph Cafaro 12 is typing.
Oh,
in a
Joe,
group
what
chat.
up?
Sorry.
Yeah, so what will happen is Minshew will get a contract somewhere else. Richardson's our guy. Just took him 4th overall, and it's not like he was bad before he got hurt. He was playing some good football.
Though, if the Colts win the Super Bowl, then what?
What did the Eagles do with Nick Foles?
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But
they sent him to the Colts.
But, I mean, the difference is, I guess the difference would be that the team is definitely not nearly as talented, and also Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate that year.
That is the difference, yeah.
So.
But they didn't give a shit. Carson Wentz was their guy.
It would be
They invested a lot in Wentz.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Good hypothetical.
But in that case, Jock, be ready to clip this come off season for us talking Colts Super Bowl.
Zach Taylor says he is not ready to rule out Jamar Chase for Week 16, despite reports earlier in the week that he was out this week and could be out longer. Obviously, huge news for the Bengals, given they're in the wild card race.
Yeah,
huge news for my fantasy team, going against Garrett this weekend.
See, if I were you, I'd rather him just be ruled out.
I got Ridley in right now, and I'm like,
I wouldn't. Like,
he's
now
healthy.
you're in a weird decision because it's like if he comes in and he's limited and just takes one hit and he just flares up, then it's like you just started a guy who got you 0 points.
Yeah, it's definitely a
I
risk.
mean,
But Ridley is the definition of boom or bust.
But he's healthy.
He's healthy, yes.
So
also, we don't know if Lawrence is going to play yet.
Yeah, but still, I'd take a healthy Ridley with Beathard than an injured Chase with Browning.
Yeah, but Browning's been balling.
He has, but
it
still.
is the shoulder, though. It's a shoulder. It's a tough
I
injury.
don't know.
You can take one hit, and then
I think if he's
yeah.
active and it's like a last minute like game, if they're like game time decision on Saturday, game time decision, I think I'm benching him. Honestly, I don't think I'm playing him. I don't think the risk is worth it.
I hear you. At least it's a Saturday game, so
yeah, like if you
it's
made
not a
it
time
this
crunch.
far, like, and you have other options that could maybe put up the same thing, because it's also not the same like first round pick Jamar Chase you're getting. Like he could do it. Like we saw him go off, but we've also seen him at dud games with Browning, so it's risky.
It is definitely risky.
But what do we got next?
Finally, Tommy DeVito fires his agent Sean Stiletto from his marketing team. He still runs the contracts. That's the only thing he does now. And this is after the whole pizzeria backlash. I don't know if you guys saw, but apparently Tommy DeVito was supposed to go to pizzeria in Morristown on Tuesday, I believe.
Why weren't you there, fanboying?
Because I'm not like that. Someone's got to work. And supposedly behind the back, Stiletto jacked the price up from $10K to $20K, and the pizzeria is like, we can't afford that. So a lot of people get mad at DeVito, and what did DeVito do? The good guy he is, leading the New York Giants right now, went for free, made things right, and hired a marketing agent, and Sean Stiletto no longer handles that. Good for DeVito. Drock, would you like to chime in here?
Yeah, I was just like on Twitter or whatnot, like reading about all the comments and what people have to say about it, because clearly it's a controversial topic, but like, what do you do as him? Like, do you ride the wave of all the fame going on right now? Like, going out and proposing this pitch of like, oh yeah, Tommy DeVito, I'm Italian, to like a bunch of other restaurants and like getting money from those types of sponsorship deals, because like his career may be done at the end of the season. Like it might. I'm not saying it's not over, but like, do you continue to go to restaurants?
Yeah, you gotta ride the hot hand while you have it, man. Like
I mean,
he like he said,
terrible take. Why would his career be over?
He means as like a starter.
Like as a starter.
Like he's never gonna get.
I was like, he's gonna get a backup job. Like he'll be a career backup, I would say.
Yeah, he's never gonna get a big time starter paycheck, but as a backup, he'll make good money. And the sponsorships, you got to ride the hot hand while you have them. Like he said before, it's good for business.
Yeah, like I don't blame him as a business-minded individual in this aspect of like going around and like finding other restaurants, like sponsorship.
He probably is going to make more this year on sponsorships.
Yeah, dude, he's a practice
squad guy. What is he making, like $500K?
Most players make more money on sponsorship.
Yeah, so this guy's probably going to make more.
I think, Colin, you mentioned it too. It's kind of like the same vibe. It's like the Linsanity stuff.
Yeah.
And like again with the sponsorship deals, you gotta like ride that hot hand, ride the wave, because like who knows in like a year, like people are gonna be like, hey, remember Tommy DeVito when we were getting hype about that? Like nobody might care about his name in a couple of years. So
I think that's the most likely scenario is that
Exactly.
he goes back to a backup and then it's it's what he is. So I mean that's why you hired the marketing guy. Get that bag while you can. All right, that wraps up the news. Joe, what do we have for questions?
all right, we're gonna start off with, you probably guessed it, Austin.
Oster.
Individually sent me 2 festive holiday questions here.
Oh, we love Christmas here around the felt. Thank you,
We
Austin.
do. We love the holidays here. We just fucking love them.
Oh my gosh, Austin.
What's your guys' favorite Christmas movie?
Austin, shut the hell up. This is a football podcast.
See, mine is probably the OG Rudolph, like the cartoon one, just because.
Claymation,
Yeah, that's like the one that I remember watching the most. I gotta go with the OG Rudolph with the abominable snowman.
Oh yeah, and then the
there's some good ones.
You would
Christmas
say the Grinch.
Story.
I would say, yeah, I was gonna
Christmas
say, you're gonna
Story's
say
a
the Grinch.
classic. The Home Alones are good.
Yeah.
The Grinch is a good one, obviously. I gotta watch the new one. They made a Grinch horror movie.
They did?
Yeah, they also made a Winnie Pooh the horror movie, and
I saw that.
the Winnie the Pooh one is so bad, but it's just the Grinch going around and like eating the Whoville people.
Oh no.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the
Yo, that'd be pretty
Santa
good.
Claus movies.
Oh, the Tim Allen movies are money.
Great.
Those
Yeah.
are money.
Those are great movies.
All right,
Dude,
so we got Tim Allen.
You
we
make me
got-
want to watch The Grinch now, the horror movie version.
Yeah. I
Do
want
you
to watch
guys
that too.
consider Die Hard a Christmas movie? Because that's a big. Every time around this year, there's always a debate I see online.
I can't go
I'd
for
say
or against.
no.
It's not.
I don't know.
really
When I think Christmas movies, that's definitely not like the first one that
Yeah,
comes to
no.
my mind. So I'd say no.
I think a lot of people just associate that because it was like about him being there for Christmas. Like it's like people think it's a Christmas movie because it was during Christmas. So
Yeah, I guess you could say like, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not my first choice when it's like, oh, let's watch a Christmas movie.
Die Hard, baby. Great movie though.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Great movie. All right, and last from the Christmas questions, what is your guys' favorite Christmas or holiday traditions?
Usually it's meeting up with you, Austie, and holding up the mistletoe.
That's awesome. You guys use tongue too or no?
Yeah, you want in on this year? You want to
Uh,
borrow the mistletoe to get a whirl on the old Austie?
No, I'm good, bro. I don't want to be rubbing up on your goatee there.
Come here.
You trimmed it down though.
Yeah, what do you mean? This
It
is
is
like
trimmed
this is a
down.
baby goatee.
It's a baby goat. Mine is every Christmas day, dad's side comes over, and we watch, well, this year, thank God, football, not basketball. And I drink a lot of whiskey and have a good time with the fam. We do a nice little spirit swap. It's a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a good punishment for around the felt right there. Anyway, and then I'd say mine. I'm trying to think. I don't know. We always do something different every year. I mean, it will be nice to watch football, but I wouldn't say we really have a big Christmas tradition.
Your tradition's just pigging the fuck out.
Yeah.
Eggnog, baby.
Yeah, well, that'll be him this week. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But no, I don't really have a Christmas tradition. I guess just putting up Christmas lights every year.
What's your favorite thing about the holiday season?
Probably just getting gifts.
Okay.
No, I do.
Boo's badass.
Me and Zach were at the mall the other day, and we were talking about it. And we're like, honestly, like giving gifts feels better than getting them. It is a nice.
Yeah,
it's
when
exciting.
you get a good gift for someone, you're like, damn.
Yeah, you're like a giddy little
Can't wait to see the
schoolgirl.
look on their face.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You
Yeah,
little
it's an
pumped up.
exciting
You
little
little
feeling.
pumped
It's
up.
like I can't wait till this person opens it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and now football questions.
Finally.
Will Colorado be ranked next college football season, and will they make the playoffs?
They will be ranked. They will not make the playoffs. I think they still have more to
What does it
build
mean by
on that
playoffs?
roster.
Being the top 12?
That's what the playoffs are.
Yeah, that's the playoffs.
So, I mean, no, I don't even think they'll be ranked. I mean, what conference are they going
They'll
to
be
again?
ranked preseason. They have
Will
so
they?
much. They have so much hype, bro. They'll be ranked preseason. Plus,
So dumb to rank a team
Plus,
that came off
recruiting
4
class-
wins
It's
going into a tougher conference.
Yeah, but you're bringing in a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Bro.
But
The
they're also
biggest
going
thing-
into a lot harder of a conference, right? Aren't they going into the...
Pac-12 was very, very good this year, bro. So I mean,
Pac-12 was good.
Yeah, but aren't they-
40s for their
Where are
recruiting
they
this year?
going? Aren't they going to the...
They're going to the Big
to the
12.
Big 12, so...
and if
Big
like
12,
people want
yeah.
to talk up the SEC, which I completely understand, the SEC had like a losing record against other Power 5 teams in the regular season this year. So
Yeah, SEC had a down year.
so
Yeah, they will be ranked just based on the hype they'll have and the talent they bring in, but I still think they won't be good enough in the trenches to be good enough to make the playoffs. That's what I mean, Shedeur Sanders is going to be, like right now, he's looking like QB1 for the 2025 NFL draft. So he's a stud. Obviously, they have great wide receivers. They have all the skill talent.
O-line.
They need to build, the offensive line, and they need to work on that defense a lot. The defense is not good enough to be ranked top 12.
They'll go 7-5 and make a bowl game.
I think they'll go like 9-3, maybe 8-4. But yeah, they'll make a decent bowl game, but they won't be in the playoffs, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of guys that still gotta transfer out. I mean, there's still
can't see them
so much
making
time.
The
but-
playoffs. I'd be shocked.
Who needs to win more right now, the Cowboys or the Dolphins?
Dolphins for sure, because you got to think about it like this: the AFC is still a lot more loaded than the NFC, and the Dolphins' schedule, like coming up, if they have a couple tough games left, so they could still lose that division. And I think Miami going on the road, a team that's used to playing in the warm weather, then having to travel into a lot of these other teams where the weather's going to be cold, like you don't want to have to travel into Buffalo, like that's a team they could be traveling to. Kansas City, you don't want to travel to. Baltimore, you know what I mean? So I think it's a lot harder on them than it would be for Dallas. Especially because, like, Dallas has honestly been, like, the whole time, like, going to be in this wild card spot. They've been in it a lot the past couple of years, so they kind of know what it's like to play on the road in the divisional round, where Miami hasn't been
Yeah,
in
but
the
it's not
playoffs
like
a
they've
lot.
had success with that.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've still been in the
Both
situation.
teams don't want to be on the road.
No, but I think Miami needs this win more than Dallas does, because Dallas could lose and still win the division, where Miami, like Buffalo, is piss hot right now, and Philly obviously isn't looking good right now.
Yeah, I disagree. I think Dallas, similar reasoning where you're talking about going on the road. Dallas is like unbeaten at home and they lose on the road. I mean, that's all their losses. I mentioned in the last podcast, they always choke on the road. And like I just said, in the playoffs, they always choke on the road. If Dallas has home field advantage, which they could attain, very unlikely, they need San Francisco to lose to Baltimore. They got to win out, right?
Yes. But think about it like this. Would you rather be playing your first-round matchup in New Orleans or Tampa Bay, or would you rather be playing your first-round matchup in Jacksonville?
I don't really think that matters as much as where you want to
I
play
think
your
it does.
second-round matchup.
No, but I think that's a big
Dallas
factor.
doesn't want to play in Philadelphia or San Francisco.
Well,
They're not beating them on the road.
Yeah, but you want so then Miami, you got to go not only beat Jacksonville, but then you got to go play Baltimore. Like no matter what, you're gonna have a crazy second round. It's just like I'd much rather have the easier first round matchup because no matter what, you're gonna be playing the top dog in the second round most likely.
I get it. I mean, I see the argument for both sides. To be honest with you, it's honestly
It's a must-win for both.
It's a huge game for both because both still have a shot at the number 1 seed, which would be huge. Now, granted, Miami's home field advantage is more based on the Heat, but if you're playing those games in January, the Heat doesn't play as much as a factor.
I think Miami still has a lot of questions because they really haven't had that signature win where we saw Dallas smack Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football.
Yes, Dallas does
Miami
have good
still
wins.
does not have that signature win, so this is another reason why I think they have to win this game. Because if they lose this, then it's just more like, who have they beaten? They haven't beaten anyone, and then you still got to play Buffalo one more time, too. That's another reason, too.
I just think that... I don't know.
Who you already lost to.
I don't know. I just think Dallas at home has a significantly better chance of beating San Francisco as opposed to on the road, where I feel like Miami on the road has a better chance of winning.
Yes, but Dallas split it with Philly already, where Miami, if they lose this, they still have to go play Buffalo again.
Yeah, so if Buffalo wins, then Buffalo's up their ass. I get
That's
that
what
part.
I'm saying.
But
So it's more,
Dallas is already tied with Philly.
Yeah, but they have the head-to-head. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's more of a how good Buffalo's been playing recently.
Yeah, but
if
also,
anything.
yeah, but Philly has such an easy schedule down the stretch. I don't see them losing the next 3. I think they beat the Rams. I think they beat my Giants twice. You know, like,
No, they
Dallas
have the Cardinals.
has
It's
to
not even
win.
the Rams.
Oh, the Cardinals, which is even worse.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know, man. The way they got some issues, but
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. That's a good debate.
I think Dallas at home is like the best team in the league. They're like
They average like
Yeah.
40 points per game
Well,
at
yeah,
home.
they are.
They
They are
average
sick at
40
home.
at home.
You guys think they're gonna go undefeated at home this season? I don't know who they have to play, but
well, they're obviously on the road this week against Miami, and then they have another tough match. Oh, they play Detroit at home, who I think they're gonna whop the following week. And then they close out the year with Washington, I would imagine, because the Giants are playing the Eagles.
Yep.
So, and I think Washington is on the road, so they only have one more home game, which means they're 7-0. So, yeah, I do think they killed Detroit. Honestly, I think Dak is gonna have an insane game for fantasy this week.
all right. And last, can Tyreek Hill still break Calvin Johnson's record?
Yes, I do, and I think he gets it done.
I kind of, yeah. I mean, it would be cool to see it, especially now that he missed the one game. So there really can't be any like, oh, well, he played one more game because he's gonna play 16 this year. So
He's gonna play 16, and I said this a couple weeks ago in an Instagram comment. I was like, I hope he does it in 16 games, so no one can bitch about the asterisk behind it. Like I wanted to see him do it in 16. He missed one. He knows it's crunch time. Also, let's think about who his coach is, Mike McDaniel. I mean, they hung 70 on the Broncos.
Well,
they didn't stop.
you could also say though he was the guy that could have broke the record and also was like, yeah, I don't care about the records and didn't break it.
But that was 3 points away. They already had 70. Like
Yeah.
this is different though. This isn't running it up on a team. This is getting his guy 2K yards. And I think McDaniel's going to do whatever he can to get Tyreek to 2K. As if
It
Tyreek
also
needs any
does
help.
depend though.
He's going to do it.
It also does depend though, like if they're down in these games, you know what I mean? Because they lose this week and then they go lose to Buffalo. That last week of the season, I don't think they I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think he's going to be like, we need to get Tyreek his yards. They're going to be more worried about, like, we need to win this game and still try to get the division.
I get that, but
like in the Bills matchup, they're not going to be worried about his yards. They're going to be worried about winning that game.
But I also think
potentially locking
he's
up
going to
the
be able
division.
to. I think he can shit on Dallas and Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
good matchups.
yeah,
he should.
like, how many
with
yards does he
Buffalo's
need?
Injuries.
Yeah,
I think like
how many yards he needs to average
350.
to do
He
it.
needs over. I think he needs 152.6. I saw.
in each game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I think I was definitely over 150. So I mean that would basically mean if he had like 200-yard game, that could be big.
Oh yeah, he did. He needs.
He needs a lot of yards. He needs like over 150 a
I
game.
think him missing that game really screwed him.
Yeah, because he's got 1542.
Yeah,
So he needs like he needs
what
he needs like 450ish.
That's what I'm
458.
saying, yeah.
458.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. 152.6. So basically, it's gonna be tough, but he could get it done. Obviously.
Well, that's to get to 2K, not to beat Calvin Johnson's record.
What?
Is the number I just said, 458. That's to get to 2,000. That's not to beat Calvin Johnson's record.
Yeah.
So it's a
an easy
little
more.
less. It's a little less. Maybe he beats Calvin Johnson by like 5 yards and doesn't hit 2K.
That'd be crazy.
That would be brutal. That would be brutal.
All right, next we got Shifko.
What up, Shifko?
Why don't you guys man up and get your old podcast back on Spotify?
Yeah, Spotify knocked us off for, what was it, like something with payment? Like
It's a very sketchy reason.
it was a weird reason, and we reached out, and I'm on the line with the guy, and he's like, yeah, like I can't handle this. It's got to go to our specialty group. They'll send you an email within 24 hours. It's been a week. We haven't heard shit.
Yeah, honestly, fuck Spotify. So if this makes us have to make a third account, then so be it. Because we lost everything
we
anyway.
Lost all of the episodes on there. So fuck Spotify. Head on over to YouTube or Apple Podcast if you can. If Spotify's your only source, we appreciate you sticking with us.
Yeah, I would definitely be listening on one of those platforms.
All right. Kyle Curley asks.
Wait, that was all from Shifko?
Yeah, that was. You just need to throw that out there.
Jeez.
So Kyle Curley wants to know which rookie wide receiver from this year would you draft first next year?
What's up, Squirrely Fry? Oh shit, that's a good one, Curly.
It's tough because based on this year, but like next year, like I'm not gonna say JSN first, but like
Puka.
I think JSN's gonna be a lot better next year than he is this year.
I say Puka.
I think JSN's gonna be. I think he's gonna break out next year. I mean, you could.
Possible.
Yeah, I mean, Puka's
just like he's clearly like taking over as like he is like 1A 1B with Cup right now. Like watching these games, it's not like he's the number 2 receiver. Like they're both very viable for fantasy. Cup's gonna be another year older, so I don't think his role really changes that much. So I'll take the consistency.
Puka's a good one. I mean, Addison scored so many touchdowns this year, but we don't know if that's gonna. We don't know if that's gonna hold up next year. But it's not even like he's getting. It's not even like he's getting a ton of targets right now. Plus Jefferson wasn't there all season, so Addison's tough. Definitely not Quentin Johnston.
Tank Dell.
I mean, Tank Dell. You could definitely make a case for Tank Dell. I mean, I would go Flowers behind Nakua and Tank.
I wouldn't take Flowers. I wouldn't take JSN, and I wouldn't take Addison. Honestly, to me, it's Puka, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's going to change between now and the time your drafts come. And I also do think the Texans are going to get somebody else in the offseason or the draft.
All right, now we got Walmart.
What up, Walmart? He said he got a good trivia question.
All right, Walmart. Well, let's see.
He said he'd be shocked if we get it.
All right, the answer is the Washington Commanders.
Tom, the double cheeseburgers at the blackjack table are going to be flying on the 29th.
Whoa! I didn't know we were having double cheeseburgers.
What are the 3 best things to see when analyzing a first-year starting quarterback? 3 worst.
3 best and 3 worst things. I think the best thing is
low
number 1. I was gonna say the ability to process a defense at the NFL level when the game speed picks up. Not just going first read and then, okay, shit, am I going to get sacked and moving around? It's going from the first read and you see it in film to moving the eyes and hitting the second read or even the third. Yeah. I think that's really impressive to do because it shows that they're in the film room a lot and they're able to process things at a fast pace. So even if you're not an athletic quarterback, if you can do that, you can be successful. 2, like you said, turnovers. That's definitely a big thing. Keep the turnovers down. And 3rd, I mean, I'd probably say being able to go off script and not just relying on what's called.
Yeah.
Being able to get outside the pocket and make things happen and elevate those around you. If you can do that, like what C.J. Stroud has done, I think that's a great thing to see as a rookie quarterback.
Yep, I agree with those things. And then some negatives I'd say, obviously, are just, like you were saying, like the ability to read a defense and not looking at your first read, like always just throwing it to your first read. There's nothing worse also than watching a quarterback when it's like, it's like 3rd and 8 and you take the check down right instantly. That gets you like 3 yards.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it just shows you have no faith. You can throw a screen pass. You know what I mean?
So that's bad. It's like situation awareness is a big one. It's like, and then also like forcing passes. Like you hate to see when they're like, you get a guy that's like really forcing it in instead of just taking the simple throwaway. And also, I know you as a Washington fan, you know this, and me as a Jet fan, like just taking bad sacks, like really bad sacks.
That's what I was going to say. Pocket awareness, and this is what hurt Jones earlier in his career, but he got strip sack from behind a lot.
Yeah,
like not being able to feel
he had more
the pressure.
Strip sack fumbles, I think, than he did picks his rookie year.
Yes, it's an intangible thing where you're able to almost feel the pressure and be able to step up in the pocket or get out when you can.
Yeah,
because
you got to have that internal clock.
I mean, because you might be like on paper, wow, this guy's taking a ton of sacks. Especially, I mean, we've said it about Fields. And it's like, wow, is the offensive line bad? Or you got to look deeper into it. If you're not processing, you don't feel the pocket. closing on you. That's another big thing. Good question. Getting us really breaking down the scouting aspect.
If you have the first pick in a PPR fantasy league next year, who are you taking and why?
Probably McCaffrey.
Yeah, I was gonna go McCaffrey, and
I don't know
close second, I'd go Tyreek.
I
But
don't even know if it's a close second, man. Like,
you got to go McCaffrey. Running backs are harder to find,
he gets the receptions
and he
too.
scores in every game.
Like
Volume.
And he's always the leading running back receiver. Yeah,
and he gets so many touchdowns.
McCaffrey's got to be one.
Yeah, Kyron Williams is a guy that I'm going to be very intrigued in next year. I don't know if you realize, like,
I think his ADP is going to be like around like
dude, he's
15
gonna be,
to
no,
8, like between 8 and
Like
15.
the mid-first,
I think he'll be like a top 5 pick next year. I don't know if
think
you
top
realize that,
5?
dude. He's like, if Christian McCaffrey wasn't having this year, he'd be the best fantasy running back, dude. He's averaging over 20 points a game right now.
I don't know. It's just like,
Dude, he's been on a tear.
yeah, but I don't.
Yeah, on average, I know
Not average.
Just because I know he
because
has
Kyron was
he
hurt.
definitely Mostert definitely has more points, but I think average because
on
Kyron
average,
missed
he might
time.
be.
But anyway, Kyron's been getting like 150 rushing yards like the past couple games.
I know.
So
Yeah.
to me, he's a young guy, 23. Like, he's getting all the volume. Like, he's a guy I would be looking. Like, I don't think I would take him over McCaffrey, but I think he's a guy that'll be like in that top 5 range.
I think it's more around the 8 to 10.
We'll see. I mean, it really depends on these last 3 games, but
He missed a couple games too.
yeah, but he's gonna be a league winner for sure.
He missed 4 games and is still RB8.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Like,
very
he's
impressive.
Very
how many
impressive.
points is he averaging a game? Like, it's over
I'm
20.
on sleeper right now.
Obviously, you can make a case for Tyreek, Jefferson, depending on who the quarterback is, but I'd say McCaffrey's a safe answer.
20.85 PPR.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah.
like
I think the
that's what I'm
top 4 will be like McCaffrey, Jefferson, Tyreek, and Chase.
saying. See, I think Kyron Williams will be in there too. Like, I don't.
He could be the
I think it's
5th.
gonna
I think he
Right
could go
after.
over Chase or Jefferson, or Endhill. Like, he might go
I don't know. I think
102.
Jefferson as well was averaging like 150 yards a game until he got hurt, and then he just missed the whole.
It also depends who
He's above-
Jefferson's quarterback is next year.
Yeah, it does.
Because
He's
if it's
above-
not Cousins and it's some rookie, like, I know me, like, I'm not going to take him in the top 5 if he's playing with a rookie quarterback.
He was above.
Like,
Hill
I wouldn't
before
want
he
that
got hurt.
risk. I also took Chase this year
I think
early. And
those guys are just the safer option when you're picking that high, though, because we haven't
Yeah.
seen enough of Kyron, so we don't know what next year's going to look
Yeah,
like.
I mean, it really depends on like what your strategy is too. Because if you favor the running backs more, then you go running back. If you're more of a wide receiver first type of guy, then you go wide receiver. So, but I think McCaffrey's kind of the safe answer, I'd say, for the 101.
Okay, now we got our trivia question.
All right, let's hear it.
Name 4 of the top 5 single-season rushing yard leaders for rookies.
Okay,
For the top 5.
Yeah.
as a
Trent
rookie.
Richardson.
No, he's not on there.
Saquon.
Not on there.
Wow, Saquon had 1,300. That's crazy.
That's annoying.
I would have thought 1,300 would be top 5, bro.
Dude, I thought Trent Richardson Zeke.
Yes, he's
Okay,
3.
yeah, that was an
What was
easy
the total? Did it say the total or just the name?
He didn't give me
Okay.
the yards.
Okay,
just
so Zeke.
The rankings.
one. Emmitt Smith.
No.
O.J. Simpson.
No.
Damn, bro.
I don't want to say Reggie Bush.
Adrian Peterson.
No, there's I think the only you're gonna get like there's gonna be one on this list where it's like, oh, like I should have got that. The other 4 or 3, since you already got one, you're not gonna get.
They're old
Trying
guys.
to think.
One's an older guy, but you know the name, and like
Walter
it's gonna
Payton.
piss you off. No. He's number 1.
Barry Sanders.
No.
Dude.
Who's a sick college running back? Oh, Ricky Williams.
No.
Bo Jackson.
No.
Dude.
You're getting closer.
I feel like I'm
You
not
guys
even
have any
close.
idea over there? Wow, there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Wave the white flag.
I want to get one more right.
Oh,
Before
yeah, I want
do.
one more guess.
Clinton Portis.
How was Bo Jackson closer? Is it in that? Does he play? Did he play for the
It was
Raiders?
like that era.
Clinton
that
Portis
era?
isn't one of them.
No.
Steven Jackson wasn't. Marshall Faulk.
No, but close.
Oh, who was? There's another Rams running back. Dickerson.
Ricky Henderson.
Eric Dickerson.
Eric
Eric
Dickerson.
Dickerson was number 1. That was the
Okay.
one I was talking about. Where you guys-
So there's 2 more. Oh, not
I don't
Kamara.
think, no, you guys aren't going to get the other ones.
Christian Okoye.
No.
Yeah, just let us know.
Okay, so number 5, Otis Anderson.
Oh,
that's bad.
Giant, baby!
That's bad on your
I
part.
wouldn't have known that.
I mean, still, that's like one of your...
Reagan, we saw him.
I know, that's bad
Yeah.
that you didn't know that, though. You got to know that.
Yeah, I have a signed helmet by him.
That's what I'm saying. That's that's a Giants legend right there.
I didn't know he was top 5 rookie rushing yard.
Well, I mean...
Reagan and I were working a catering
the
event,
70s.
though, that LT was at, and I didn't even recognize who he was.
That's
so.
crazy. I didn't realize he was top 5. Okay.
All right, number 4, Alfred Morris.
Yo! I was thinking Doug Martin, because him and Alfred Morris.
That's why I
came out
said
the same
Clinton
year.
Portis, because I'm like, there's a commander in
You
there.
know there's a commander, Alfred Morris.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shout out Sean Soletto. He represented him, actually.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I saw that. Oh, gosh.
3 was Zeke. 2 was George Rogers from the Saints.
I was never getting that.
Yeah.
That's why I said 4 or 5. He knew we weren't getting
I
George
knew
Rogers.
Alfred Morris's rookie year was crazy, but I didn't realize it was that good.
Damn, bro.
And 1 was Eric Dickerson.
Wow.
Punishment idea. Loser has to camp outside for 1 night.
Yeah, I think you suggested this one already,
Yeah,
but...
yes.
That's a good one, though.
I do like
in
that.
In the cold. You do a little, vlog. Hey, guys. Freezing my ass off. I think there's a bear outside the tent.
Yeah, it'd be funny, too, if we're, inside the house, just, waving at a person. In
Yeah,
the
we
tent.
just all go
Yeah.
to someone's house on a
Warming.
Saturday and just make them sleep outside.
Sitting
Oh
by
my
fire
gosh.
drinking. Okay, and last but not least, we got Matt Scherf.
Sure.
Jet F.
Sorry we're shitting on your Panthers so much, bro.
Ooh.
Heard this take today on John Milkoff's 3 and Out podcast and wanted to see what the pros thought. He said Brock Purdy is the best Niners quarterback since Steve Young.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. He's better than Garoppolo. He's better than Kaepernick. He's better than Alex Smith. Nah, I don't know. Alex Smith, I feel like, was pretty good.
Alex Smith
He
was
was
good,
good.
man.
Yeah,
He was good.
yeah. I don't know if I could say he's better than. And also, Kaepernick brought him to a Super Bowl instead of Jimmy G. But I feel like he's already better than those guys. I don't know. Yeah, definitely not in my books. I don't know how you could say that because I think you could make a case that Kaepernick and Alex Smith are all better than him.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because we weren't really old enough to the prime of Alex Smith. We were still young.
Yeah.
On San Fran.
Yeah.
I mean, we remember Kaepernick, but that was such a short period of time.
And there's probably
that was
some
kind
other
of just
guys
because he
were-
was a running quarterback before the league figured out how to stop running quarterbacks.
Jeff Garcia was pretty good too. So I don't think he's better than Jeff Garcia yet. So
Yeah, I don't know. I also feel like this
Jeff
Niners
Garcia
team
was one of the best-
absolutely loaded.
best mobile quarterbacks when he played in the 80s, 90s.
Definitely an interesting
or
debate.
or 2000. I don't know. He played 90s to 2000s, but Jeff Garcia was also better than Purdy is. So yeah, definitely not.
All right, that's all I got for questions.
All right, guys, let's take a quick break, and then we're to break down these Week 16 ball games.
What's up, everybody? This message is about Masterpiece Designs. As you can see on our computers throughout the podcast, we have around the felt stickers. They're the ones that made it for us. We thought, hey, it would be pretty cool to get stickers. So we came to them with the idea, and they made them for us. That's one of the many things they can do. So, like they say, if you can think it, they can make it. All right, guys, welcome back in. We're going to get right into the Thursday game. And this Thursday game is presented by the cameraman change.
Zach is now in at cameraman. Joe
Yeah,
had to go.
He had some his sister's birthday. Shout out to you, Francesca. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, friend.
And we did our this is a great way for us to segue into some hockey with that line change we did right there.
I like that.
Trock liked it.
Oh,
there
I
we
like
go.
that. There you go.
Pretty
Oh.
witty. But yeah, let's get into it. This is also the big bet of the week. You want me to get into it right from the start?
Right from the start, Reagan. What are we doing this week?
Well,
Slam it.
yeah, somebody is going to be slamming a carton of eggnog. Got to chug the whole thing in the holiday spirit. Pretty gross, but we do it for you guys in the holiday spirit. And what better thing to do than chugging a carton of eggnog? It can't be a gallon. I mean, that's
That's a little too much.
maybe a quart because that shit thick.
That
know,
shit thick.
That
Slim
shit
thick.
thick.
Yeah, so the game is Saints at Rams. I don't know if you forgot to mention that part. The Rams are 4-point favorites at home. The over-under is 46. You guys already know who's backing who. I'm taking the Rams. You're taking the Saints.
I am.
Why are you confident in your Saints?
Well, I mean, if Derek Carr is going to play like he did last week, where he lit up a pretty good defense. I mean, look, the Giants team has been struggling this year, but they're
Not because of the defense.
No, but that's what I was going to say. Their defense has not been the struggling point, and Derek Carr had a great game last week. Highest passer rating of the season, highest completion percentage of the season. While the yards weren't there, he had 3 touchdown passes. The offense was actually able to move the ball. So, honestly, it just gave me some confidence in the team, and I think this Rams offense, while it's very good, I think this defense is very beatable. So I do think this is going to be sneaky high scoring, but got to back my boys here on the road. And what was the line that we ended up closing on? 4?
4.
4. So we could have a push, which would imply that we're both going to be chugging a carton.
That would
I
suck.
like that handshake bet right now.
No,
Well,
that's how we've been doing it all year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll still shake on
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I'll shake on it. It would be cool if you were like paying attention.
Well, we
when
haven't had a
first
push.
started
We haven't
the
had a push
podcast.
yet for the big bet.
No, we haven't.
Four's a
So.
wacky line. So
Yeah,
it's
4 is a
Four is
wacky
a
line.
wacky
But if
line.
it's
20,
4,
24
if it's
action.
4, that would be
31,
pretty
27.
funny.
That would be funny. The Rams have averaged 33 points per game over the last 4. The offense is hot. In that stretch, Stafford has 12 touchdowns to 1 interception. Cooper Kupp's heating up. Puka Nacua is still a big factor. I think the Saints' defense is very beatable. With a
Yeah.
good, it can be, right? When you don't have Tommy DeVito
We
understand.
have seen them bleed points.
We have
at times.
yes,
And
absolutely.
A lot of that
And
has to deal with the different injuries. they have going
particularly on the ground. So I think Kyron Williams goes over 100 again. I think this Rams offense stays hot, like you mentioned, Reagan. Their defense is nothing special, but I do think there's going to be points scored in this one. However, this Rams offense is way better than New Orleans, which is why I'm backing the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams definitely have been on fire. We'll give them credit. I mean, they hung 30-plus on both the Ravens and the Browns, who have elite defenses. But, man, I got to back my boys, you know? I got to back my boys. And also the fact that Olave is going to play is also a big factor. They say
big
he
for
should be
them.
good, and there's a chance Michael Thomas plays. So Derek Carr getting back to two of his best weapons will be nice.
Next, the Bengals are 2-point favorites on the road at Pittsburgh. The over-under set at 37. Pittsburgh won the first matchup between the two, and that was Jake Browning's first start. It was a 16-10 ball game. Now, the Bengals' offense is definitely playing better the last 3 weeks. They're on a 3-game winning streak with Browning under center, and he's been lighting up through the air. That's why I'm taking Cincinnati.
Really?
Even if Pickett comes back, I don't care if it's Pickett or Rudolph, I'm taking Cincinnati to win and cover this one on the road. The Steelers are slumping hard. Now, I know they don't have losing records, and it's right there. It's close. But I think the Bengals do get it done on the road. Browning and the crew stays hot, with or
Yeah.
without Jamar Chase. Now,
This-
if Jamar Chase is there, I feel a lot better.
Yeah, for me, this is actually an easy pick. This is a layup pick. I think the Steelers win here and cover. This is the trappiest of trappy games of the week. I looked at this and I'm like, oh, you know everyone's going to be fading the Steelers. They lost 3 in a row. Look who they lost to. They lost to the Patriots. They lost to the Cardinals. They looked terrible against the Colts. Like, this Steelers team's done. It's a division game. Steelers always play the division games tight. It seems like every AFC North game always goes. The underdog always wins. So I'll take the Steelers at home in this matchup when you're giving me 2 points. Smash play to me, low scoring, but I think they get it done. And if Jamar Chase doesn't play, I think this Bengals offense is going to look a lot different. While they may have looked good against the Vikings, I think it'll be a different outcome this week. It's a lot easier to game plan for a Bengals offense, Jamar Chaseless. You know what I mean? So if you take away him, and I mean, obviously, like the emergence of Chase Brown is nice for this offense, but I'm rolling with the Steelers here. I think they actually win by double digits in a low scoring affair. I think 17-3.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Bengals only scored 3 points?
Yeah, I think the Steelers defense steps it up. I think
Now, is that assuming no Chase? They score 3.
that'd be with no Chase, yes.
Okay.
With Chase, I still think the Steelers get it done, but I think it's more points. I mean, think about it. You're taking out like a top 5 wide receiver. So
Yeah, no, I get it.
a big factor.
I get it, but T. Higgins had a nice resurgence last week.
He did.
I like to see that. I like to see that keep going.
I think they'll have a better game plan if Jamar Chase gets ruled out, and I don't think he's going to play. I think the only reason he hasn't been ruled out is more gamesmanship.
That's fair. It's also crunch time, though. It's wild card race. I could see
It
him
is.
gutting it out.
It'll be interesting. It'll be a good game.
Next, Buffalo, 11.5-point favorites on the road at the Chargers. No more Brandon Staley in town. The over-under is set at 44. Reagan, do the Chargers cover that fat spread?
Dude, they 100% do. At home, are you kidding me? I don't care how hot the Bills are right now. I will always take the team to cover after they fire their coach. We're 1-1 on that situation. It obviously worked out with the Raiders. It did not work out well with the Panthers. But to me, the fact that they're going to have an intern head coach, they're going to be hearing all in the media, blah, blah, blah. Easton sticks. He can't get it done. Austin Eckler, he's washed. Like, this Chargers team's done. I think the guys are going to be fired up now that Staley's gone. And I mean, come on. It's 12 points. It's a lot of points, man. Like, I could see it being like 30-20. Like, backdoor cover. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they're going to put up a much better fight than what we just saw.
Yeah, I think Buffalo covers in this one.
Really?
The one point you said that I disagree with heavily is the fact that the Chargers at home, because you're the same guy that shits on their home field advantage all the time, and
No,
the Bills
I know.
Mafia travels like one of the best in the country. I think there's going to be more Bills fans than Chargers fans.
No, there
there.
very well could be, but the difference is they're in warm weather California. They're not in cold weather Buffalo.
True, they're not
That-
cold
I
weather
wasn't-
Buffalo,
I was
but
more so saying it the fact that they're at home. But it's more so not that they have the home field advantage. It's the fact that they don't have to go to Buffalo.
I get that part.
Because it'll be 50-50 versus 90-10.
I get that.
Also warm weather, not cold weather.
I mean, I don't know. Buffalo is 0-2 against the spread this season as double-digit favorites, but I don't really care in this one because
It's just
I mean,
a
the
lot
Raiders
of
just hung
points.
63
It's a
in this
lot of
defense.
points to be giving to a team, and I just think like the Broncos played well coming off their loss to the Dolphins. I think like you get two factors here. One, you just got embarrassed on national television. Two, you just got your coach fired. So I think there's a lot of motivation here to at least try to compete. I actually really like Chargers first half spread.
I think the Chargers get embarrassed on national television once
I
again.
think that's a
this one.
sneaky pick. That might be my parlay, like Chargers first half money line, or not money line, first half spread.
We also don't know if Keenan Allen's going to play yet.
Yeah, I mean that obviously is a huge factor, but we'll see. I mean,
I'm
we're
sorry, but
recording
if
this on a
it's
Wednesday.
Easton Stick, Joshua Palmer, Quentin Johnston, and a washed-up Austin Eckler, I don't think they can hang with this Buffalo team that just beat Kansas City and Dallas.
Look, it's a Wednesday, so there's a lot of factors that'll go into it between now and Saturday, but this is where I'm at on Wednesday night.
Okay, well, here's another one. Let's see where you're at on Wednesday night. Cleveland is 2.5-point favorites on the road at Houston. We don't know if Stroud's going to clear concussion protocol, but it looks like he's not.
Yeah, for me, I'm backing the Browns whether Stroud plays or not. I'm taking the 2.5. So if Stroud plays, I think Cleveland wins. I think that line's reflecting because obviously it's in Houston, so I think that line's reflecting Stroud not playing. But I will rock with the 2.5 whether Stroud's playing or not.
I'm also taking Cleveland. I mean, Joe Flacco is slanging that thing.
Yes,
Reagan.
he is.
He
Yes,
slanging
he
it.
is.
I think he stays hot against a gettable Houston secondary. I mean, I don't think Case Keenum's going to be able to do his thing against this Cleveland defense. Granted, the defense is much better at home, but they also allow the least amount of passing yards in the league. So Keenum's not getting it done, which means their only path to victory is Devin Singletary. Which, am I going to back Devin Singletary? Hell no.
Yeah, you are. No.
I'm not. So I'm going to go with the Browns here. It's an ugly game. It's not one I'm necessarily looking forward to, but I think it's definitely the safer play given that Houston's going to be missing probably their top two wideouts and star quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm going to get a little off topic here, but looking ahead to the playoffs, if Cleveland takes care of business in the first round, most likely they will be traveling to Baltimore in the divisional round. Joe Flacco returning to Baltimore.
That would be awesome.
It's looking more and more likely. I mean, it really depends on if Kansas City or Miami gets upset in the first round, or I guess it could be Buffalo too. But it's looking like Cleveland's probably going to end up being that 5 seed.
Honestly, if I'm Cleveland, I'd rather play Baltimore than at Miami or at
they're
Kansas
probably gonna be
City,
playing
just because they're division rivals. You have a lot of tape on them. You know how they play, and it's going to be a grittier game.
Most likely they'll be playing Jacksonville in the first round. So also that goes back to my Miami take. They would be actually playing. The Browns would be playing them. So the 3 is probably going to be. We might see a Miami Buffalo first round matchup also. That could end up happening.
I mean, we saw it last year when the Bengals played the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. It was Tyler Huntley. In that game, remember that at the goal line they tried to punch and they punched it out and cribbed it 99 yards, and that was the difference in the game.
Yeah.
When you play a division team in the playoffs, things get dicey. You know, it's a different atmosphere.
I will say I'm all in on this Browns team. I actually think they could make the Super Bowl.
That's wild. I don't think that.
It's a hot take, but I'm loving this defense and what I'm seeing from Joe Flacco. It's overreaction Wednesday here at Around the Felt, and I'm overreacting on this team, but I genuinely think this team could make the Super Bowl.
Crazy.
I know.
All right, next. The Colts are at the Falcons. The Falcons are somehow 1-point favorites at home here. Feels like a weird line. Line given that Taylor Heineke's starting, and the Colts are 5-1 in their last 6.
We know who you're backing.
The over-under is 44.5. Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta.
You have to.
I mean,
you have to.
I'm taking it because it almost feels like everyone's going to be on Indianapolis. Given that
So you're calling for a trap game here.
I think it's a reverse trap. Like Indianapolis is 5-1 in their last 6. They're also 5-0 against the spread when favored by 3 or less. I don't know. I think everyone's going to be in the Colts, and I think Taylor Heineke steps in, has a signature Taylor Heineke game where he spot starts and he has 250 yards. I think the ground game gets going. This Colts defense isn't good. And the Falcons are at home. They always play better at home. I don't know. I think it's trappy. I'm going to take the Falcons, not necessarily because of my 8.5. I just think this line's a little weird.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with the Colts just because, honestly, the most impressive thing to me was the fact that they were still able to do what they did to Pittsburgh with no Zach Mouse and Michael Pittman most of the game.
Who's Zach Mass?
Zach Mass. I'm walking here. Yeah, no. But it's the fact that they were able to still get it done and kind of basically hang 30 points on a team with no Pittman, no Moss, no Taylor. I mean, Trey Sermon was running the ball down their throat. I think this is just another case for Shane Steichen, Coach of the Year. I really like what I saw from the Colts team, and it sounds like Jonathan Taylor will be back, so that's also a
Good news
huge
for my
upgrade.
fantasy team, baby.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Next, the Commanders are at the Jets. Jets are 3-point favorites. This might be the ugliest game of the week. Well, I forgot we have Arizona-Chicago as well, but
Yeah.
the over-under is 37. Reagan, are you back in your Jets, or
No,
are you off
I'm
the bandwagon?
not. This is actually a biased pick in the sense that I want the Jets to lose now, so I would be saying this. I'm strictly saying this because I want the Jets to lose, honestly.
Fake fan.
Yep. Well, you know what? I want my team to have a better pick. Like we've gone over, my team has the motivation going into next year. We're not losing the locker room. We have Aaron Rodgers back. He'll be at practice. So if we lose this game, it's huge because then Washington gets up to us. It gives us a better chance to get the fourth pick, and then you get your pick of the offensive lineman. So yeah, I'm taking Washington here. And also, if Brissett is to start, I mean, he showed some gas last week, so gotta put my cap in the ring.
I think that Howell will start in this one. I am backing the Jets.
Wow.
We're against each other this one, and I'm the one
Washington
backing the Jets. I think whoever starts at quarterback for Washington will have trouble against that secondary. Also, Washington's lost 5 in a row. It seems like Rivera has lost the locker room a little bit. And also, in that time frame, they've taken 30 sacks, which is a lot. So
Yeah,
this
I mean,
Jets
it is-
defense at home, I think, is going to play well. I mean, I think this is going to be an ugly game, like a 13-10 type of game.
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Which would be a push. But
Something has to give here because it's the 32nd ranked offense in the Jets versus the 32nd ranked defense in the Commanders. And if Zach Wilson doesn't play, it's going to get real ugly.
yeah, that's the thing. I'm also assuming Wilson's going to clear protocol.
Because I've seen like a lot of people might be like considering starting the Washington defense in fantasy. I probably would go other options. I know their projections are high, but it's just to me like you're ranked 32nd for a reason. Like I wouldn't want to take that risk in a playoff matchup.
Yeah, I think Breece Hall has a good bounce back game here, though.
Yeah,
Washington, they allow so many fantasy points to running backs. I think they allow like the second most. So I think Breece Hall in the receiving game is going to be a big part
maybe
of their
a parlay
offense.
leg for you.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Next, the Lions, 3-point favorites on the road at Minnesota. Huge game in the NFC North. The over-under 47. Reagan, I know you mentioned those Vikings.
I'm rocking with the Vikings. Nick Mullins is going to have another big game. I think you could start him in fantasy again this week. The Lions finally did have a good game defensively, but I still am not bought in on this defense. The Vikings offense, they had a good like their defense blew them the game last week. Like their offense put up 28. Obviously, Nick Mullins had a couple bad turnovers, but having Jefferson back healthy, this Viking offense is completely different. And if Alex Madison isn't to go, doesn't play this week. Stumbling on words here. It's late, We've been talking for a while, but if Alexander Madison doesn't play, I think Ty Chandler's another smash play this week.
I actually think even if Madison's active, I think Ty Chandler leads the backfield. How do you not have him lead the
The
backfield
only
after last
thing
week?
is, I would temper expectations then because Detroit actually is ranked number 1 against running backs for fantasy.
Interesting.
Which is interesting. You beat them through the passing game, so that might just say their secondary's that bad, or that might just be like. That could be a couple things, but yeah, they are ranked 1 against running backs this year, so you have to temper expectations.
Wow, interesting.
So, but I think it's a big game for Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson.
I'm going with Detroit straight up and against the spread. I think that pass rush is going to get home against Mullins. I don't think he's going to have similar success in this one. And just based on the Lions, how they play, if Jared Goff take care of the football, they win. If he turns the ball over, they lose. It's the same thing every week. So when their offense puts up duds, you look at the box score, Jared Goff threw 3 picks. When they hang 40, Jared Goff played a clean game. That's their X factor. And I do think at Minnesota, indoors, I think Goff has a good game. And I do think they win by a touchdown.
Oh, also in Lions news, we didn't talk about it before, but Hendon Hooker has been added to the 53-man roster officially, so... for Dynasty, I definitely still scoop him up. I like the prospect in Hendon Hooker. I have him on my roster. I mean, it sucks because I put him on the IR spot instead of the taxi spot, so I don't want to drop him, but definitely a guy I'd look on your waivers for. I don't think he'll play this year, but he's a prospect I have some faith in.
I like that, Reagan. Next, the Packers, 5-point favorites on the road at Carolina, coming off their second win of the season. The over-under 36.5. Reagan, does Carolina get in the win column again?
No. I'm taking the Packers to cover and win here. I think it's desperation time, and the Panthers, they won last week. I mean, they won with 3 field goals.
What's the spread? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
5.5.
5.
Kind of low, don't you think?
I don't know, because the Packers...
At Lambeau or no?
No, it's in Carolina.
So I think that's why.
That's why it's 5.
Also, you want to know why it's low? Green Bay's defense is so bad at the point where they're asking about whether the defensive coordinator is going to get fired. They have allowed a 79.6% completion percentage to Tommy DeVito and Baker Mayfield over the last 2 weeks.
That's good stuff.
Not necessarily elite quarterbacks. Although Baker's my boy. Baker's my boy.
Although Cutlets.
And Cutlets, yeah. This Green Bay defense has been brutal to the point where I think Bryce Young does enough to keep him in this game. I still think Green Bay wins, but Carolina covers the 5. Also, Green Bay is 2-5 on the road this year, straight up. They're not a good road team. Obviously, Lambeau Field is a huge home field advantage. I do think they win here, but that defense is playing very poorly that I think it's going to come down to the wire. They barely squeak one out. Bryce Young has a good game. Keeps them close. All right, last game before we roll to the 4 o'clock slate and the Christmas Day games, Reagan. The Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites on the road at Tennessee. The over-under 36.5. Kind of a low line given that Levis is beat up, questionable to play with a leg, and Seattle coming off a big win against Philadelphia.
Yeah, this line's very scary to me, but I'm just going to trust my gut here. I'm going to, like what I saw from Seattle last week. I think the Seahawks handle them this week. I think they win by 20.
Wow.
I think they kill them.
Yeah,
There
I
we
mean,
go.
Seattle is coming off a short week. Geno's banged up. I mean, can Drew Lock
I think
repeat
Geno was a full participant today.
Okay, so it looks like Geno is going to play.
Yeah.
But is he 100% healthy?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's another thing,
So they just start Geno, right? Just throw him back in after.
Yeah, Geno's our guy. I mean, Drew Lock had that nice 2-minute drill to get the
He
win.
really didn't do anything. He didn't
but
do anything
he didn't really
outside
play
of that.
well. He didn't really play well.
Birds.
It was kind of their defense that took care of business, but
Yeah.
I
Julian
don't know.
Love.
This game feels trappy to me, man. The Titans, all their wins are at home this year. They're winless on the road. I hope Levis plays because I'm starting him in Superflex.
Their Miami win was on the road, but still.
Okay, so they have
But
one
still.
win on the road.
They don't win. They don't play well on the road. But
No, they do not. So they're at home in this one. I hope Derrick Henry gets back on track. I hope Levis plays for the sake of my Superflex team because otherwise I'm starting Bryce Young. And I do think Tennessee wins outright in this one at home.
Wow. Interesting take. All right. Well, you want to take a quick break and we'll come back with the 4 p.m. game and the Christmas game?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Ooh, I like the.
What's up, everybody? With the holidays right around the corner, what better gift to get for your loved ones than a bottle of Worst Manhattans? It's the best. I personally enjoyed it, and I've been trying to share it with a bunch of different people. And they've been asking me, hey, Reagan, where can I pick up a bottle of Worst Manhattans? And I say, go to their website. If you have Instagram, which I know a lot of you do, that's where you follow us. Go check out theirs. It's Worst_Manhattans. Click the link in their bio, and they have a store finder tool where you can type in your zip code to then find out the closest location to you that carries Worst Manhattans. So go check it out, guys. The store finder tool has been great. For me, I didn't know where to go. I plugged it in, and it told me Califon. So I go to the Califon liquor store, and that's where I get my bottle of Worst Manhattan.
All right, guys, let's keep it rolling. The Jags on the road at Tampa Bay. The Bucs are 1-point favorite at home on a 3-game winning streak after beating the Packers. Baker Mayfield perfect passer rating. The over-under 42.5. Reagan, do the Bucs stay hot?
Yes, they do. In a game they need to win.
They
They'll have a better idea of how big this game is. It helps them that the Saints are playing Thursday night. So if the Saints are to lose, then you're up a half a game in the division already. And then they do have the tiebreaker. So it'll be nice for them to have that luxury going into this. But yeah, I think it's a huge game. And I do think they get it done. And I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to play. I feel like this line is reflecting him not playing.
Yeah, he's still in protocol. Peterson has not given us any indications. We don't know if he's going to play or not. I agree with you. I think that's why the Bucs are 1-point favorite. Baker has 7 touchdowns to 1 INT in the 3-game winning streak. I think Baker stays hot because you beat the Jags through the air. So I do think they get it done at home. Mike Evans has a big bounce-back game. I know he scored last week, but it was Chris Godwin's time to shine. Mike Evans has another big game here, over 100 yards. He scores. Bucs win at home.
All right, fair enough.
Next, ugly game. Arizona at Chicago. The Bears are 4-point favorites. The over-under 43. Reagan, you backing Kyler?
I am. It's my upset pick of the week.
Whoa!
Yes, sir. I think Kyler and Trey McBride get it done.
McBride is that dude in that offense right now.
That might be my parlay. I don't know. His line's going to be up there, though. It's probably going to be in the 60 range now that he's been getting targets out the ass.
And this Bears defense has been playing well.
I know. But I'm going to rock with the Cardinals here. Honestly, I really like what I've been seeing from their offense. Defensively, it's not the best, but I mean, it's also hard to stop the 49ers, you know what I mean? But I think this game's going to be ugly and pretty low scoring, but I lean Cardinals slightly here.
I actually disagree with you. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think the Bears win, but the Cardinals cover the 4. So I think they win by a field goal.
Okay.
Arizona allows 26.9 points per game. However, the Bears have won 3 in a row at home, but they are 0-2 against the spread as a favorite this season. So I don't know. But the Cardinals scoring 29 against San Francisco gives me hope that they can score against Chicago, even though Chicago's defense has been playing really well as of recent. So I think this is going to be sneaky high scoring. I do think the Bears win. I think if you are in fantasy playoffs, the Bears offense is going to be phenomenal for you this week. DJ Moore and Justin Fields. And I think on the Cardinals side, I do like Trey McBride in this one. I think they do enough to keep it close, but I do think the Bears squeak one out at home in a high scoring game.
Fair enough.
All right. Huge game. Talked about it a little bit earlier. Dallas at Miami. Dolphins are 1.5-point favorites at home. The over-under is 50. Reagan, who
I'm
you
back
backing?
in Dallas. I think they get back on the right track here. I think that was embarrassing what happened last week. I think this Miami team is fraudulent. While I do believe in this Cowboys team, I just think it was a rough loss. They were on fire, so I think it's a humbling loss, and I think they make the necessary adjustments here and get it done. I think they win the game 30-20. I think they kind of handle them. I mean, we saw the Eagles handle the Dolphins earlier in the year, and I think it's a good matchup for Dallas.
Yeah, I have Miami now. But I want to put a little asterisk on this. Today, their entire offensive line, Mostert, Achane, and Hill, all did not practice. So, granted, it's Wednesday. It could be just a big rest day. A lot of guys are beat up at this point in the season. But I want to see, I expect Achane and Mostert to play. I want to see Hill activated, ready to go, even though I do think he will. The offensive line does worry me.
Yeah.
You don't want to have backups out there against Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. So I need to see the injury report and who's playing before I really hammer home the Dolphins. I have them right now at home because I don't trust Dallas on the road. And we saw last week James Cook go off, and I think this Miami running game with Mostert and Achane could do the same thing. But then again, that requires them being active and most of the offensive line being active. So I'm going to go with Miami right now, but if it comes to Sunday and some of these guys are inactive, I will switch to Dallas in this one because it's a tough matchup against that front.
Fair enough.
Next, New England. This is our Sunday night football game, boys, that we gotta go
Yeah.
through. New England at Denver. Denver 6.5-point favorites, a very low total, 34.5. I am taking Denver straight up and against the spread. I know they got blown out last week by Detroit, but they have won their last 4 at home, and there's just no part of me that wants to back Bailey Zappi at all. I know it's a 6.5-point spread, so Belichick could put up a phenomenal defensive game plan and limit the Denver offense, which I hope not because I need Russ in playoffs this week, but I think Denver at home is a pretty safe bet to win. Do they cover the 6.5? I'm a little iffy on that one. I am going to take them to cover, but not something I'm super comfortable with.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in the Pats covering and the Broncos winning here. I think it's going to be ugly, low scoring. I think both options are great for fantasy this week if you're looking for a defensive stream. If Ramondre doesn't play, I think there's another good Zeke game. While he didn't exactly perform up to standards last week, I have a lot of confidence in him. I mean, we saw what Gibbs and Montgomery just did to this Denver defense last week. So I think there's some viable options. Hunter Henry, I think, is a must pick up with Bailey Zappi. He seems to be his favorite target, too. So if you're looking for a tight end, I think Hunter Henry's a good option. But I think low scoring, but I lean Broncos by like 3.
Next, our 1 o'clock game on Christmas Day. The Raiders coming off a 63-point offensive performance against the Chargers are at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites, Reagan. The over-under, low total, 41. Does Kansas City roll at home?
Yeah, I think they get it done. I mean, after the fact that they got it done last time after getting down early to the Raiders 14-0, I think they're going to make the necessary adjustments from last time to get it done. I think they kind of started off cold, and now they kind of know what this Raiders team is about. We're definitely not going to see the same Raiders team we saw last week, so I think we see more of what we saw against the Vikings and less of what we saw against the Chargers. So I think the Chiefs get it done, and I think they dominate them on Christmas, to be honest.
I agree with you with everything you said. Last game was a fluke. You could tell the Chargers just quit in the first quarter. They gave up. I mean, that was a fluky game. This is also the Chiefs' defense. It's a much different animal than the Chargers' defense. The Chiefs' defense is top 5 in scoring. So I think they limit the Raiders to less than 17 points. And, I mean, what has Mahomes done his entire career? Dominate the AFC West. I think he dominates them again here. I mean, granted, he's been very frustrated. I do think the Chiefs put a good game plan together, and they beat the Raiders like they have done for the past 5 years.
I like that.
Next, the Giants at the Eagles. Eagles are 12-point favorites in the 4:30 slate on Christmas Day. The over-under 42.5. It sucks. I got to watch my team probably get their ass spanked in this one. Reagan, do the Giants cover the 12?
Nah, I'm rolling with the Eagles here. Honestly, I would have more confidence in the Giants if the Eagles won, but I just think the fact that they've been losing this many games, like they're going to want to come out and prove something. So I do think Boston Scott probably gets in the end zone.
I was about to say that. He has
a
11 touchdowns in 9 games against the Giants. He scored in every one, and he barely has a role right now. But you know damn well the Eagles know he scores against the Giants. They're talking about it in the locker room. I think Boston Scott to score is a pretty safe bet this week.
Yeah, especially when they get up big. Or Vegas is going to make a crap ton of money if he doesn't. But I would definitely look at his props. If his line's like 6.5 rushing yards, I'm taking the over.
I feel like they might have him to score it, like, not even that crazy.
I think it'll be like plus 200.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like plus 200, plus 250, which is... not that juicy considering he's the third back.
Yeah. So, but I think the Eagles get it done here. I think it's a big statement win for them on Christmas.
I am taking the Giants to cover the 12. Am I confident? No. But this defense is terrible, and I understand that DeVito and the boys got held down last week by the Saints, but I think they do enough through the air and with Saquon, more so in the receiving game than on the ground, to cover the 12. I think it's going to be a backdoor. I think the Eagles lead this game from start to finish, however. The Giants, just, even I can say it, they do not play well against Philly, especially in Philadelphia. So, I mean, even as a Giants fan, we're not winning this game. I do think they cover, though, backdoor, just because this Eagles defense is so susceptible. All right, last but not least. Wow, man. We get like a couple games like this a year. The number 1 seed in the AFC, the Baltimore Ravens, at the Niners. Niners are 5-point favorites at home. The over-under, 47. Reagan, does Lamar's MVP campaign continue against the front runner right now?
I actually have the Ravens winning and, obviously covering because they're the underdogs, but actually I'm taking the Ravens here. I'm done downing them. I said that last week. I'm done downing them. I'm going to take them. They just seem to get it done. It seems like whenever they have good competition, they go out and beat them. And it seems like when they maybe have a game that it's like, all right, they'll dominate them. They play it a little closer. So I think they're going to play up to the competition and get it done. I have a lot more faith in Lamar than I do Purdy. And this Ravens defense is pretty darn good. So I think they can get it done. I do think this will be low scoring and close, though. I think both offenses will be limited. Like, I think under 40 points. I could see it being like 17-14 Ravens.
Okay, I want the Ravens to win this game because I do have a Lamar MVP ticket from our first podcast ever that we did when I predicted the Ravens to go 12-5, and I did take Lamar to win MVP. So for that, I am hoping the Ravens win. However, I am taking the Niners to win and cover.
Wow,
the Niners are just tough to beat at home. I think they beat the Ravens by 2 touchdowns in this one. I think they're an absolute juggernaut, and after they win this one, they're going to be heavy Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just don't see how anyone can stop that offense when they're fully clicking and everyone's healthy. I don't see it. I can't imagine it.
And I see the logic, and that's kind of what makes me want to take the Ravens is because I feel like everyone's going to be thinking that, and the Ravens are definitely like these guys aren't gambling, but they know the lines and are like have an idea of like what Vegas is saying. So I feel like that's extra motivation. It's like, even though you're the best team in the AFC, like, we're still putting you as like a 5-6 point underdog.
I think it's a big spread. I think everyone's be like, dude, I'm going to take the points in the Ravens.
Yeah, that's valid
That's
too.
what I feel like people are. I mean,
too.
the Ravens are the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think people are going to see that big spread and be like, wow, like San Fran's not that good. I think San Francisco shows everyone they are the best team in football, and it ain't damn close right now.
Fair enough. And, that wraps up all the games. We're going to actually put out 3 parlays for you guys this week. We're going to do one for the Saturday games.
Tell them to bring me my money.
One for the Sundays games, and then an even bigger one with the whole crew for Christmas. We're going to have a bigger parlay like we've done. You'll get to see the Turkey Zach graphic on it.
We're going to change Snowman Zach. Rudolph Zach? Can we get Rudolph Zach?
Yeah, maybe we need a Rudolph Zach.
That place.
But yeah, and then sweatshirts, they're on our website, so if you want to place your order, do that because we're going to be placing a big order soon. So go get them, guys.
Go get them.
And look out for me singing in the Santa costume and Colin chugging the eggnog. And the lacrosse video will be done.
Whoa. We don't know that I'm chugging the eggnog. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But, yeah, your Christmas music video will be dropping this weekend.
Yeah, has to be. It ain't no Christmas video if it's after Christmas. So, all right, guys. Peace.